So the story I'd like to share, looking back 10 years at the IFC Sustainability Exchange and how far we've come in the industry, is literally if you pulled up a Bloomberg terminal or a Thomson Reuters terminal, FactSet terminal, if you were an investment analyst and you were sitting in the city in London or Wall Street, and you pulled up information looking for key environmental, social, and governance factors on major companies, mining companies, extractive companies, global majors, you would probably have found black screens a decade ago because there simply wasn't information. Or if there was information, that information wasn't easily available. And as an investor, you want to be finding data points quickly. You want to be comparing and contrasting them. And from that, based on your investment thesis, you'll be deciding which companies to invest in and which not to. But if you have incomplete data, how can you make a reasoned decision? So as a sustainable investment practitioner, what we've been trying to do is make sure there's more ESG data points available to investors and to improve the quality of their decisions they make and to make sure they're considering all factors, all financial, all economic factors, all political factors, but importantly also environmental, social, and governance factors, ESG factors. So if you look back 10 years, we had a black screen. Some really good news and exciting news is that if you pulled up on a Bloomberg terminal today, even in emerging markets or frontier markets like South Africa, Zambia, Turkey, Costa Rica, you can find data points on major companies around ESG factors where you could not 10 years ago. So for me, that's a real mark of how far we've come. Now, don't get me wrong, the data needs to get checked. Some of the data is not comparable. They're competing frameworks. But at least we have the data points. And from those data points, you can go ahead and make your own investment decisions. And we can move forward where we're integrating ESG factors where before we couldn't. We can invest as if the future matters because we're considering all factors, including the people and the planet in the decisions that we make. I had a vision today listening to one of the presentations. If the IFC Exchange 2026 opens, it's a darkened room, there's a huge screen similar to the one you have at MIT Media Lab. Drones fly in through every door, and projected onto that screen are what the drones are seeing, which is the people in the room, the delegate, the very smart, sharp, interesting C-suite and activist types that you meet, which is why you come to the exchange. But then at some point during that presentation, the drones switch footage. And it switches to a feed that is giving you live video from remote areas where the mines and the pipelines and the bridges and the people are. So in 10 years, in a decade, we could have an exchange, a forum, a meeting of minds where you have the people in the room, sure, doing great work, having great conversations, talking about their failures. You learn more from your failure than your success. But using technology in a way that using a smartphone in a far-off place, feeding it through a drone, a pipeline under the sea, we could get the voice of the community. We could get the experience of the land directly into the room. I think that would be a fantastic way of improving the quality of the conversation. Could be cool, maybe not so cool, maybe a drone crashes, but I would really appreciate the quality of the exchange you could generate.